Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Just kidding.
What up, romance class?
Hey, romance class. It's Jeff.
Hello, romance class.
Hey guys, my name is Rap and you are in my room, virtually.
Hey guys, it's Jade Albert here.
Thank you guys so much for all these presents. I can't wait to unbox them. Alright, rock and roll, let's get to it. I'm so excited.
Okay, so romance class sent me this. I have no idea what it is. It should be interesting.
That was a pretty sexy way that I just disrobed that bag. Off with. Okay.
I was sent a package. Gosh, I've never had to do this, so please bear with me.
Oh, cookies! I got cookies. Romance class. It looks good, by the way.
Nougat-ali cookies with delicious hazelnut crème filling. It's really good.
Eee! Do you see it?
Good. I don't think I'm gonna share this with my family. I'll just keep it a secret.
Oh, what?
Butterfly pea.
Butterfly pea! Oh my gosh. This is super healthy.
This is a tea. Sounds great. Butterfly pea tea from the tea source. You know, I'm English, so I love my tea, so this is perfect.
So it's the flower. It's the blue butterfly pea flower.
Alam ko sobrang ano nito. Good for you.
Just gonna put that. Don't block the cookies.
Yeah, and I love tea. As an old person,
Whistle handcrafted cookies.
right here. Yeah. This is interesting.
Parang first time ko makita ng pulveron sa jar.
I remember when I was growing up, there was such a thing as pastillas in a jar. So it's like that, yeah?
What is this? Fruit spread! From Hummingbird. Proudly made in the Philippines.
You know, I literally just learned how to make bread this quarantine, so this is gonna be perfect.
Yo, my kiwi. Can you see? Kiwi, okay. That's what I'm going for tomorrow.
Thank you. I like this. I love this. Yeah, I've always been a fan of jams or anything that you can spread on like toast.
Watermelon, mango, guava, I think, jackfruit, and calamansi. Oh my gosh.
Ah, okay, this I love. This I love. Pure chocolate tableya. This is nice. Pure chocolate tableya. This is nice. Perfect for Christmas siya. Oh shit! For Christmas na Christmas siya! I love it!
I think this might be chocolate.
Thank you. I love chocolates. I love anything sweet. I love dessert. Period.
Oh my god, we got some chocolates up in here. Oh my god. Yo. Yo, I was just thinking about having chocolate, dude. This is wild.
Decada chocolates. It's the Christmas season. How would you not have chocolates?
Right? So thank you. Thank you. Dekada chocolate. Maligayang Pasko.
Oops, I dropped one of them. I hope I didn't break it.
Books! We've got How She Likes It by Carla de Guzman.
Book. It's a book. It's a book. It's a book with my face on it. It's Sweet on You by Carla de Guzman.
You Out of Nowhere by J. Tria. And finally, my favorite, No Bias, by Mina Esguerra, So Forward.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know what that smell is to me? Choose Your Own Adventure and Goosebumps. That's what that smell is. New book smell.
Carla.
Yan, ang ganda cover of this guy, grabe mo. This guy looks in love. Very warm yung pagkahawak niya sa kanya. Significant other.
This book is not gonna smell like this forever. So, okay, I know what to do.
This has gotta be one of my favorites, I have to say.
So, I want that book smell to last. We're gonna put that in there. No, you go too.
I mean, look, we look so cute together. Thank you so much, Carla, by the way. I really appreciate this. And
You just go right in there. Perfect. And just so that we can maximize the freshness of this book, because I want that new book smell to last.
Being able to associate myself with such a wonderful book is honestly such a blessing. Thank you. Gonna put this right over here. Find a place. Don't fall. Awesome.
So, what I'm going to do is turn this way for a bit. I'm just gonna put that in the freezer next to the ice cream.
Oh no, it's me! Oh!
Share your heart with your art. It's so nice. There. Let me just show it right there. Oh,
I remember this now. Oo nga, sa BGC kami nag-shoot nito.
Here. I have this card right over here. Come on, work!
Aw, these are nice. Look at that. Look at that.
rise up and attack the day with enthusiasm. Oh, sure.
And this other one is listen. Listen.
And some sticker sheets. I'm so excited to decorate my journals that I haven't used at all in 2020.
And finally, of course, guys, we need to always stay safe and healthy. We have face mask with the romance class. So it's nice. Oh, okay. Cute.
It's a romance class mask. I love it. It's beautiful.
Yes, very timely and perfect face mask that you can put your own filters in.
And a mask. Oh, I got the romance class stitching. That's so cute.
Oh my gosh, this is so adorable. Of course I have to wear it. Aww.
We have... Dude, I've been waiting for this!
Oh, this is so cute. Thanks, guys.
And it, of course, has the romance class run.
See that? Oh, cartoon.
Thank you. Thanks, romance class.
I heart all of this.
Stay safe, everybody. This is like the cutest little mask ever. We've got our emblem over here, our cutie mark. I love this so much!
I think it's such a nice gesture when you give people face masks or like hand sanitizers or anything that can keep them safe during this time.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Okay, yeah. The joy is in my face right now. I miss you all. Yeah. Thank you. Really weird right now. Yeah. There.
This act of kindness, guys, thank you. That's really sweet.
Thanks so much, romance class.
Guys, thank you. Thank you, romance class.
Thank you. Thanks so much, romance class. Maraming salamat.
Look at all these goodies, you guys. I'm so spoiled by you. Thank you so much. I love you guys, obviously.
Thanks, guys. What was that?
All right. Ta-da! Here we are. We've got everything. We've got the tea. We've got the macaroni and cheese. We have even a glass of milk for our cookie. So we are all ready to go. Now, for the best part. In the City of Angels by Don Lanuza. The song. He played the song. I glanced back at the jukebox in the corner. It registered to me that he had been offering his hand. I did mention there'd be dancing. I took it instantly to make up for the time I lost and stood from the booth. He pulled me in, and I landed perfectly in his arms as if we rehearsed all of it. My hands' fingers wrapped around his nape as his hands circled my waist. He led, and I had forgotten how long it had been since I had danced with someone. Not dancing to club music or at local bar gigs, but to this. Slow, lingering, warm, and romantic music. I felt butterfly wings flutter in my stomach, and my heart swelled at the sound of the piano. Eyes were on us. Probably because we'd turned that small space in the middle of the place into a dance floor, but we didn't care. Or at least I didn't. He smiled at me, leaned in close enough that I could rest my forehead on his chin. I resisted the urge to and simply lowered my eyes. I've heard this song before, I told him. Just once. Maybe a couple times. Just didn't pay attention. Are you paying attention now? He asked. A smile spread on my face as I pulled away to look him in the eye. Yes. Just then, the song ended, and it was painful to have that end too quickly. He saw my burden and tilted his head until a new song played. This one was much more familiar. It was Frank Sinatra, telling us to have a merry little Christmas. I frowned. No. Yes, he swayed me back. I didn't fight it, and decided to dance with him throughout that song, no matter how corny it seemed. Don't you like Christmas? Don't I? I asked myself that question. I did. When I was a child. But as I got older, Christmas felt more like a chore. All the Christmas shopping, all the family reunions, the exchange of gifts, the well-wishing. He leaned close and rested his cheek on my temple, his mouth close to my ear. My mother makes sweaters every Christmas and demands that we wear them. Here, I stifled a laugh. It's much colder where I'm from, he said matter-of-factly. You'd wake up the following morning and everything is stark white. Then the whole house would smell like food. The whole day, we could eat anything for breakfast. What would you usually have? Cookies, he answered. And I closed my eyes, picturing a boy in his pajamas rushing downstairs to get his breakfast, and a mug filled with hot cocoa and marshmallows. I groaned, agreeing at how nice that was. And then we'd watch The Wizard of Oz, he continued, painting me a picture of his usual Christmas day. Despite the lack of details, I substituted images I'd seen in movies. His memory was picturesque. The stuffed stock photos, childhood movies, and the great cinematography were made of. How about you? What about me? I asked. Any Christmas rituals? I tilted my head. Thought about it, really. There were plenty, too many. My childhood memories came flashing before my eyes. Going out at night to sing Christmas carols in the neighborhood. Wearing our best clothes on Christmas Eve to attend the Mass. Opening our gifts at midnight because we couldn't wait until morning. Traveling to Baguio to attend the yearly reunion with my father's family. When was the last time I really felt like it was Christmas? We had different versions of it, except I also used to watch movies on Christmas Day. Home Alone was a favorite. Then there was this TV movie about a kid who secretly took a dog into his home when it was stuck out into the cold. But it was too long ago to even remember. My Christmases were now spent with me pretending that it was like all other days. I stayed inside my house, hiding from distant relatives or neighbors. I simply shrugged and spared him the lonely details. I don't have any. That's hard to believe. But it's true. That's why I'm out here tonight. I'm an outsider in this country, in my own family. I felt embarrassed as soon as I said it out loud, so I backtracked. And at least that's what it feels like. He started to hum the song, his lips still right by my temple. The action sent vibrations on my skin. He was so close, not just in physical proximity, but in reaching the recesses of my mind. Why was it so much easier to talk to strangers? His voice was familiar to me then, and I wasn't sure if it was because I had been talking to him for a while now, or if it triggered an old memory. Did you ever think? He phrased the words differently, and very, very carefully. That maybe you aren't on the outside. Maybe you are the one that needs to let people in. Despite the startling and what could be an accusatory statement, I recognized that his voice was kind. There was empathy, and his voice almost sounded like it was at the point of breaking. But it wasn't weak, it was gentle. And maybe that's where I picked up his sincerity, where I managed to convince myself that I was with someone who was a friend, no matter how early it was to say so. We were kindred. At that moment, I believed that I knew him. This made me pull away again to look him in the eye. His eyes were green, and it reminded me of pine trees and the cold Christmas air. That pinched my heart and reminded me of home. Home, before it got to this state, before California. Home, an ocean away, on an entirely different continent. Home, a decade ago, with Christmases that meant something. Home, before the catastrophe, before I ran out. My hand, holding on to his shoulder, slid to his chest. How do I know you? He looked at me, took in that question, as if I broke into his role that he was in. For a split second, it seemed like he would tell me, but he didn't. You don't. I didn't believe him. For the first time this whole night, I didn't believe him enough. I didn't believe him enough to want to know more. The music stopped. The air felt dry. The room seemed small. The stares from the crowd were intrusive. Then a buzz shot up between us. We broke apart. In the City of Angels by Don Lanuza.
Nico Saves Christmas by Six de los Reyes. As it turned out, they didn't need the tree or the 7-layer cake. Someone grabbed the mini Christmas tree from the front desk, and via unanimous decision, Nico and Riz received the honor of putting up the star, obligatory commemorative photo included. They salvaged what was left of the food, compensated for the rest of the night with several cases of beer, had a round of gift giving, and agreed to find a puto bongbong and bibingka stand before sunrise. All in all, Christmas was not a total disaster. Suffice it to say, for some of them, they found what they thought they had lost. Are you guys coming? Patrick asked. Nico turned to Riz first. We'll catch up with you, she said. Patrick's eyes grew twice their size. Nico will catch up with you, she revised. What's up? Nico asked. As Patrick herded the younger interns down the stairs from the third floor. I have a gift for you. Nico clutched his chest and gasped exaggeratedly. You never do presents. It's the end of times, isn't it? Shut up. Do you want it or not? Nico picked up a mangled box from the casualty pile. This was supposed to be yours. He dusted off the singed corners, untied the ribbon, and lifted the lid. Your favorite lemon marshmallow cupcakes, made by me with love. Just the thought of Nico's special cupcakes made her mouth water. But for the first time in ever, Riz felt more excited to give than to receive. Make them again. Now my turn. Laughing, he held out his hand. Okay, give it. Riz checked her phone. Okay, follow me behind door number 1. They descended the stairs to the lobby in silence. Riz kept checking her phone, and Nico was nothing but perceptive. He stumbled down the last step and with shaking hands, pulled the stairwell door open. And there she was. Standing in the lobby was the one girl he had yearned to be with. The one wish he had for Christmas. She looked up and it felt like the first time all over again. The world fell away and Nico all but vanished in her eyes. Here's another gift. You're probably not going to need this, but all the same. Riz held out her hand and dropped her gift into Nico's waiting palm. Mistletoe. Before he lost his senses completely, Nico pulled something out of his pocket. Another branch of plastic mistletoe. Look at us exchanging gifts, but I still win this round. Riz was about to make a quip that her gift was better and asked what she'd need the mistletoe for. But Nico lifted his ringing phone to his ear, and after a second said to her, Your intern wants me to tell you that you might want to run out the door right about now. Our gift's waiting for you. She didn't need to be told twice. Riz was out the door and down the street before she and Nico could properly say their see you laters. A taxi was just about pulling into the driveway. Out of breath, and even before the car door was fully open, Riz jumped into the waiting arms of all she ever wanted this Christmas. Nico Saves Christmas by Six de los Reyes.
The Last Merry Christmas by Chiyu Rodriguez. There's a stark difference between Christmas last year and Christmas this year. I haven't spent Christmas with anyone, not even family, in years for one. I decided 2 years back that I will make sure not to have any social commitments with anyone near Christmas time. I learned my lesson after that 1 year when a lady friend invited me to have Christmas lunch with her family. If I had known, I would have gotten out of that invitation fast. So I vowed never to risk having to do that again. I was alone last Christmas. It wasn't too bad. I was alone the year before too, drinking hot chocolate and watching reruns on the Family Channel. I mean, the History Channel. Just don't tell anyone that. It's a whole new deal this year. For starters, I woke up in someone else's house on Christmas Day. Someone else's couch, to be exact. Secondly, instead of the annoying sound of my phone's alarm clock, my wake up call was a series of barks and endless slobber down my cheek. Lastly, I'm sitting at this quaint dining table, half asleep, chin in hand, watching my girlfriend watch the last drops of coffee drip from the coffee maker. Yes, girlfriend. Who would have thought I'd ever say that again, huh? I certainly didn't. And yet, here I am. Haley is also still half asleep, leaning against the kitchen counter with hooded eyes on every early morning beacon of hope. I smile when she zones out and keep staring long after the last drop of coffee falls into the coffee pot. She's standing right by the window. The sunlight streaming in from outside is enveloping her like a warm hug. It makes me want to hug her too, but I don't want to ruin this moment. Maylee looks like an angel with her slightly tousled hair glowing in the sunshine. You okay there? I don't mean for my voice to sound so hoarse, but that's what a full night of playing poker with a bunch of energetic seniors do. Maylee startles a bit, managing to send a smile my way before she looks back at the coffee maker and finally acknowledges it's done brewing. She rubs her eyes with one hand and pours some coffee into two mugs with the other. She brings the mugs over to the table, then grabs cream and sugar from the pantry before finally sitting down across from me. That's okay. I'll take it black, I say, already on my way to taking my first sip. I don't always take my coffee black. Whenever I do, I always go through the motions of getting used to the bitterness of my first sip. Two sips, three, a few more, and the subtle sweet notes of the coffee start coming through. It's nice. Keeps me on my toes and works well at jump-starting my senses. 2 cubes of sugar, splash of cream. That's how Maylee always takes her coffee at home. It's still a bit crazy to realize I know that now. Sorry you had to sleep on the couch. Maylee's voice is a bit hoarse too. She clears her throat before adding, Chester didn't bug you, did he? I shake my head, taking another sip of coffee. Nah, he snuggled against my leg. I like the company. I don't say I prefer someone else snuggling against me, but it should be obvious by the way I've reached out to run my thumb along her elbows. Last night was something special. Spending Christmas Day with a bunch of old men, playing drunk poker for as long as their hearts could take it, which, by the way, was well past 1 in the morning. Maylee takes another sip of her coffee. She puts her mug down and takes my hand. There's nothing to it. She doesn't say anything. It doesn't look like she's gearing up to do anything either. She just rests her chin on her other hand and closes her eyes, her fingers gently tapping along my skin. I set my coffee aside too, while I let my eyes roam the curves and planes on her face. As quietly as possible, I scoot my chair over without letting go of her hand. We're close enough now that our knees are slightly touching, making it easier for me to lace our fingers together and lean in to press a soft kiss on her cheek. The Last Merry Christmas by Chiyu Rodriguez.
All I Want for Christmas by Chris Mariano, Chrissy Peria, and Miles Stan. What an evening. Ginny couldn't even begin figuring out what went wrong. All she knew was that she wanted to spend the evening with her friends and maybe catch the attention of someone special. Was it too much to ask? Instead, she ended up making mistake after mistake. She even ended up hurting Harold. What if his allergic reaction turned out to be fatal? Ginny felt her knees go weak. She looked out at the city beyond Isa's red drapes. The lights blurred into a soft streak of gold as she realized that she was close to tears. Again. What was it about Christmas that made her like this? What was it about the season that knew how to find the hollow little cracks in her facade and filled her with an unbelievable sense of longing? I need a distraction, she thought to herself. She headed to the now empty dining room and figured she might as well get to work tidying up. Thankfully, cleaning was a good distraction. It was actually relaxing to wash the dishes, wipe the table clean, and put the leftovers away. Except for the brownies. Those went straight into the trash bin. It was a tiring activity, but at least she wasn't worrying about Harold. Eventually, she heard the doorbell's soft buzz. When she glanced at the wall clock, she realized that an hour had already passed. The sound was enough to bring her back to reality, and she rushed to answer it. Is he okay? Ginny asked, as soon as she saw Marco standing outside the door. He will be, Marco said, stepping into the room. Isa says they'll be there a bit longer for some tests, but he's in the clear. The more important question is, are you okay? Of course I am, Ginny squeaked, putting on a brave face. Why wouldn't I be? Harold's the one we need to worry about. At the mention of Harold's name, though, she heard her voice crack. She felt a lump build in her throat. Is he really okay? Now that the crisis was over, the floodgates finally opened. Thank goodness he's okay, she gurgled between sobs. I wouldn't have known what to do if he got sick because of me. Hey, none of that, he said. He was standing so close that she could smell wine and mint and the soap on his clothes. A moment passed, then his arms were around her, warm and steady. Harold's fine. None of it is your fault. But it is! If I were more attentive, it wouldn't have happened, she sobbed even louder. In the back of her mind, she realized that she was probably messing up Marco's shirt. But when she started, she couldn't stop. Besides, he wouldn't mind, would he? This was Marco, after all. Despite his incessant teasing and crazy sense of humor, he was always there for her, all kindness and warmth, even when she least expected it. He didn't pull away even as she sobbed into his shirt. You have my permission to blame it on Luis, then, he teased instead. She could hear the faint rumbling in his chest as he spoke. She chuckled mid-sob in spite of herself. You meanie, whatever did he do to you? Wasn't it his fault that you got distracted tonight? Marco smirked, looking down at her. But his smile didn't seem to reach his eyes, although the twist of his lips suggested otherwise. Nevertheless, he had a gorgeous mouth. If anything was distracting her, it had to be the way his smile was turning her insides into a pile of mush. Marco? Really? A little bit, she confessed. What was it exactly about Luis that she liked? Why can't she even remember his face right now? Can't blame a girl for getting blinded by those dimples, right? But was I that obvious? I can't believe you noticed, she asked, looking up. I've always noticed, he replied quietly. That was when she noticed that his arms were still around her. Back at Isa's wedding, before I saw you all dressed up and taking charge, smiling at everyone, confident that nothing could go wrong. Maybe even before then. Maybe even college. She searched his face for that familiar smirk. She waited for him to say, "Fooled you," but neither came. What surprised her more was how relieved she was to see he was serious. Relieved? Since when did she care about what Marco thought? Since when did she think that it was perfectly natural to stand in his arms? Or how there wasn't anywhere else she wanted to be? She gravitated closer, much, much closer, until there was no space left between them. Marco moved his hands from her waist and trailed them up her exposed back. She could feel the heat from his fingers. Then, with the slightest pressure, he grazed her shoulder blades before he bent down to kiss her. His lips were a bit chapped, but when they nibbled on hers lightly, as if he were tasting something sweet, Ginny's mind couldn't even think of anything softer. The kiss sent Ginny reeling. She had no idea kissing Marco would be like this. But then, she had never really thought about kissing Marco before. And now, he was very persuasive. Ginny kissed him back, her response growing more ardent with each passing moment. Her hands rested comfortably on his nape, fitting there perfectly. His mouth was teasing, knowing exactly how to elicit a response from her. His hands on the small of her back felt like they belonged. Kissing Marco was something totally new, but they took to it like it was something they'd been doing forever. All I Want for Christmas by Chris Mariano, Chrissy Perea, and Miles Stan.
Monito Monita by Celestine Trinidad. Alex wondered if she could blame the alcohol, or the sleepless night she had just before the party, or exhaustion from the mission and all the exams, but she felt as if she was still dreaming when Sam had called her name. She had walked to the front of the room to receive her gift, and he had pulled her in for a hug. She buried her face in his hair, breathing in his scent. He smelled of soap with just a hint of perfume. It was something familiar, something pleasant, but also something she never noticed until now, like a lot of things about him. Numbly, she thanked him and announced the name of her own Monito. Alex walked toward the back of the room, at first thinking to go back to the mobile bar, but she walked out of the rooftop instead. She rode the elevator down to the ground floor and ran out of the building. Once she was finally outside, she took a long, deep breath. She was still clutching her gift, but she had made no move to open it. She was afraid to. You don't like it? She whirled around with a start. Sam was standing behind her, his face in shadow. God, Sam, you almost gave me a heart attack. She said, don't do that. You know how jumpy I am ever since the hunting at Chris's apartment. Sam managed a laugh, although awkwardly. Chris would correct you if she heard that. Heart attack is such a layman's term. Call it myocardial infarction. He stuffed his hands in his pockets. But seriously, don't you want to open my gift? I do want to open it, she said. Wait. She tried to open her gift, but her fingers were shaking so hard that she couldn't even hold the box properly. Sam reached out for her hand and steadied them. Let me, Alex, he murmured. Alex let go of the box. Her skin still tingled from where his fingers had brushed gently against hers, and she took a deep breath to stop her world from spinning. He finished opening the gift. He brought out a tumbler from Salt and Pepper Cafe. It was what she asked for in the Kris Kringle's wish list, and a new gray messenger bag, the same brand and color of the one she was using right now. I really thought you needed a new bag, so I went ahead and got one for you. And you have this tendency to keep on using your old things, even when you already know you should start replacing them. And don't tell me you don't have enough time to buy things, because I know you do. It's just comfortable using my old things, she said. Why replace them when they're working just fine? Sometimes, mm, new is better, Alex. His brown eyes held hers, his gaze intense, full of meaning. But I don't want things to change. Because what if things get worse if they do change? I really thought you got Cecilia, she said. I only figured it out after you gave me the third gift. I mean, I did like all the gifts though. I really did. It's just unexpected that I would give good gifts. No, 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 not that, Alex said. That you'd be happy that you'd get me. Why wouldn't I? Sam said. Because Alex choked on the lump in her throat that had formed as she hesitated. Because I'm not Cecilia. She clenched her fists. I mean, why would you mess up the set you now have with her? And things were going along so well. You were already spending time with her, dating her, and we're not dating, Alex. Sam said quietly. I'm sorry I couldn't clear things up. She told me not to tell anyone, not even you. She knew what she was doing might be crazy, and she didn't want to jinx anything. But we're not dating. Then what were you doing with her? He looked at his watch. Yeah, it's about time. What? I want to show you what we've been working on, he said. "Now come with me and I'll explain everything." He held out his hand. Alex hesitated. Um, Don't you trust me? He said, and he kept his hand in the air. Alex sighed and took his hand. I do, Sam. You know this. I still do, despite everything. His fingers entwined around hers. Thank you. Monito, Monita by Celestine Pinita.
Hi, romance class! Thank you guys so much for all of these sweet little treats here. As you can see, I have my puto bumbong and I have my bibingka. And of course, since you guys gave me something so sweet, I have to give something sweet right back to you. So, without further ado, here's an excerpt from Back for Christmas by Ines Bautista Yao. Oh, Lola, if only you knew how much courage it took for me to put on this dress, to line my eyes, to slip on the highest heels in the closet, and come here, to your house, to see him again, to see you all again. But you don't tell her this. You glance at her once more as she smiles at you. You think she knows. Oh, she must know. You take a few more steps through the guests standing around in small circles of conversation, more tinkling laughter, glittering jewelry, and bold choices of color. And you smile, nod your head, and remind yourself to keep your chin up. Easy does it. You enter the garden, where the rest of the party is held. You release the breath you were holding and allow yourself to go back in time, when you had first entered this cozy home that welcomed you, as if it had always known you were going to be a part of its family. The wrought iron gates to the garden were closed. Felipe had to take out an old-fashioned looking key from his pocket and insert it into the lock. He laughed and told you about how he kept a copy in his room so he still had access to the garden whenever he wanted to sketch or dream. Then you giggled, knowing he was more comfortable with a gadget in his hands. You were the artist. You were the dreamer. As you put one foot on the soft, damp grass, you feel the thin heel of your stilettos sink into the ground. You gasp and shoot an arm out to grab the person standing next to you. As your fingers close around air, you feel a large, warm set of hands grip on your arms. You are lifted a few inches and placed back down on tiled ground. You spin round and your eyes widen as they land on the person you have come here to see. Of course, he finds you before you can take him by surprise. This is his home. This is his family. Felipe, it comes out in a breath, a whisper. You're here. His eyes are the same deep shade of brown, just like the damp earth you almost sank into a few seconds ago. But this time, there are small lines of worry around them. Were you the one who put him there? Probably. His hair, longer than you had ever seen it before, is now peppered with a few silver strands. You resist the urge to touch them, to convince yourself they're real. You feel your lips tug upwards at his dark blue dress shirt and black pants. He always loved dressing up for Christmas. It was the day he believed nothing could go wrong, the day miracles happened. He takes your hand and leads you into a small room next to the garden, the study. You remember nights when both of you would curl up on the plump gray sofa, textbooks on your lap, open but ignored as you explored each other's mouths instead. A blush creeps up on your cheek as you recall the time Lola pushed the door open without knocking, and you had to pull down your shirt and button up your jeans behind the throw pillow as she demanded to know why the lights were so dim when you were supposed to be studying. Felipe leads you to the same couch, but this time the lights are bright, white beams stretching all over the room, illuminating every dusty corner. You sit on the edge of the sofa, your knees touching, your back straight. You don't look at him. Instead, Your eyes caressed the different photos on display in mismatched picture frames. Photos you had asked him about before, stories behind them, the people in them, the memories you wanted to absorb into your heart too. He reaches for your hand and you flinch. You don't mean to. It's an automatic response. Sorry, you say. Why are you here? Don't fall. You lift your gaze to his. Too late. Years too late. Neither of you speak, till your eyes drop to his left hand. The light bounces off the small, shiny band around his finger. He notices and brings it forward to place over yours. I never take it off. Pause. I never took it off. You turn your hands so your palms face each other, so your fingers sink into the spaces in between his. You remember the first time you took his hand, how wrapping your fingers around his felt like a miniature embrace. You marvel at how it feels exactly the same now, years and years later. His unanswered question tugs at your heart. Felipe. He tightened his grip around your hand. You told me you'd be here. You told me you'd wait. Your voice is shaky. I am. He nods, inching closer to you on the couch. Your heart begins to hammer. I'm hoping you can't continue. You know you were the one who asked to end things. You tossed your wedding ring in his face and told him you didn't want to take the pain anymore. You were the one who refused to keep trying. I'm so sorry. You feel his arms close around you, and all the anxiety seeps from your body like air from a punctured balloon. You have nothing to be sorry about. He whispers into your ear. We can always try again, or we don't have to try anymore. I just want to be with you. You don't have to explain to me. I was there. It hurt me too. He begins to kiss your brow and you feel the calcified pain lodged in your heart begin to chip away. You lift your face to his and put your hands on his cheeks, running your fingers over the rough stubble that has grown along his jaw. I've missed you so much. I've missed you too. Back for Christmas by Inez Batista Ya.
A Different Kind of Christmas by C.P. Santee. Carl, 5 minutes, not 5 days. Coming, I bellowed as I toweled my hair dry. I pulled on pants and shirt and ran downstairs. At the bottom of the stairs, I stopped and looked around in wonder. Lights twinkled from the tree I hadn't bothered to set up. It stood in its usual place in the corner, Lola's heirloom ornaments adorning its branches. Paroles and red Chinese lanterns were strung around the living and dining room, exactly where Lola hung them every Christmas. Food was laid out on the dining table. The air smelled sweetly of hot chocolate, bibingka, and puto bumbong, just the way it always had. There was even a small bilao of Lola's favorite pansit palabok. Beaming, Kit stood beside the household staff, funny Santa hats perched on their heads. "Merry Christmas!" they chorused. I smiled. Everything was the same. Different, yet the same. After we'd eaten, Kit dragged me to the tree to distribute presents. I'd forgotten to buy presents for the staff, but there were gifts with cards in Kit's handwriting. When the leftovers were packed away and the maids had gone to their rooms, Kit and I sat on the sofa, looking at the tree. Turning my head, I looked at the beautiful girl who'd made Christmas happen for me this year. Kit, a tinny rendition of Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas shattered the moment. Laughing, Kit held up a finger as she answered her phone. "Hey babe, Merry Christmas!" "Nah, I'm celebrating with Carl tonight." "Okay, bye." She made kissy noises, then cut the line. "That was Jason." "Figured that out," I mumbled, resisting the urge to roll my eyes. Hadn't Jason been jealous that his girlfriend was at another guy's house for the night? Well, he obviously wasn't. And why would he be? He was soccer team captain or student council president or rowing club founder, yeah, whatever. It was all the same, and he was sure to be one or the other. Kit's boyfriends had always been part of the in crowd at school, just as she was. But still, there had been more than a couple of Jasons in the past few years. They came and they went. I stayed. I cleared my throat. So, what did Jason get you for Christmas? She snorted before turning away to root under the tree. A coupon to straighten my hair? I bit back a laugh. Kit's hair was straight as a pin. She tried curling her hair several times before, but the curls disappeared after a few days. Her hair was beautiful. But yeah, it was the kind of hair people refused to believe was natural. "Merry Christmas, Carl." Kit handed me a present. "Open it." With a pang, I realized I hadn't gotten her anything. "Kit, I'm sorry. Hey, don't worry. You're getting me the latest Tokyo Ghoul manga and a DVD of Detroit Metal City." "I can wait." I smirked. Can't I just get you a coupon for a beauty salon?" She narrowed her eyes. "Oh, ha, ha. You just try it." I tore the wrapper and opened the box. Frowning, I lifted up a square volume wrapped in tissue. "This doesn't look like manga." Kit hit me on the shoulder. "Open it!" It was a photo book. In amazement, I flipped through the pages. Kit had compiled dozens of pictures of Lola and me through the years. Shots of a chubby baby, face smeared with chocolate, laughing at his grandmother while his grandmother bounced him on her lap. A sturdy toddler dressed in a cowboy costume while his grandmother coaxed him to smile. They were all there. Vacation, graduation, and party photos, as well as artistic shots Kit had taken the past few years. On the pages of the book, Lola Pasing was laughing, frowning, eating, making silly faces, shooing us away as she played mahjong with her amigas. She was alive. This way, you'll never forget. Kit snuggled into my shoulder as we looked at the photographs together. Kid, I cleared my throat. Thank you. I felt her smile against my chest. I put an arm around her shoulders and rested my cheek on her shining head. This girl, she got me. She truly got me. Merry Christmas, Carl. Merry Christmas, kid. You know I'm here, right? I know. Kit wrapped her arms around my middle and hugged me tight. I love you, Carl. I caught her in my arms and kissed her forehead. I love you too, Kit. And I did. I love this beautiful, special girl who I always thought would never be mine. But it was Christmas, and the promise of a new year was looming. Perhaps this was going to be the year that everything changed. There was hope and love. And sometimes that's all that really matters. A Different Kind of Christmas by C.P. Santi.
Hey, romance class. It's Jeff. Merry Christmas. I live alone, and in a year of quarantine, I've spent a lot of time alone. I spent summer alone, I spent Thanksgiving alone, but now I don't feel like I have to spend Christmas alone because we're together. Thank you. Thank you. You guys are really everything to me. You don't know. I don't show my affection very often because I'm not very emotional. I like to, be cool. But I really, really appreciate you guys for just giving me a venue to perform and things to read, and you remind me that I'm here. Thank you.
Let me hold this again. Hold this again. Hi, Romance Class! And again, thank you for this wonderful gift pack. And I just wanted to greet you guys a Merry, Merry Christmas. Thank you for everything, really. I mean, it's been so long. Wow! I promise. I mean, apart from this year, which is like 67 months, our journey together it's been a while. And I just wanna say thank you for always including me and for always making me feel so welcome. And I hope you guys had a good year despite everything. Your community is so tight knit and so strong, and I just wish you guys all the best and more power. And don't stop creating, don't stop writing. You guys are again like a solid unit, and during these times, that's what's most important. So I just wish you guys the best always, and thank you, and Merry, Merry, Merry Christmas. I will see you all soon, hopefully. Crossing my fingers that one day we can all see each other again. Love you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Hi guys, it's me. Yes, I'm back with mixed emotions. Yes. Merry Christmas to everyone. I hope you're all staying safe and healthy. I know this year has been very weird. A lot of things have been happening, but feeling ko naman kaya natin to. And I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, miss you guys. And I look forward to hopefully one day being able to read again, not via Zoom or via a recording. Although I do appreciate food, that's true. But I hope you guys are going to have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And I hope you guys stay safe and always healthy. Miss you.
Hey, Romance Class family, Jade Albert here. Just wanted to greet you all a Merry Christmas and thank you guys so much for all you've been doing this year. I know that hasn't been easy for everyone. We all had a lot of big plans. I know you guys had a lot of plans too for this year. But I'm so happy that you guys have been able to, keep releasing content that, is helping everyone, I think, stay sane a little bit better during this time. I hope that you guys continue doing what you're doing, writing about things you love, being passionate about, writing about kilig and all those moments that make us feel that life is a little bit better, more worth living. So I hope you guys never fail to write more stuff like that. I know it makes me happy. I know it makes a lot of people happy. So keep spreading the love and the kilig and good cheer, and Merry Christmas, everyone. See you guys soon, hopefully in person.
What's up, Romance Class family? Kamusta kayo? I just want to say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, have a very festive month, and may isa pala akong tanong, legit to, gusto ko lang tanongin. So guys, paano kayo nakakapag-date during this quarantine? Parang hirap. I would love some tips, please, kasi this whole virtual thing is not my thing, and yeah, I think I need to adapt. So paano ba? Please, kung may tips kayo, advice, I'm all ears. And yeah, Merry Christmas, and please keep on following and watching Romance Class content. Alright. Salamat.
Hi, Romance Class. I just wanted to start this message off by thanking you. It's been a crazy year for all of us and a really difficult year for most of us. And I think now more than ever, it's gotten really difficult to believe in love and to believe in the goodness of people and mankind. But communities like you guys exist, and I've always been and always will be super proud to be a part of whatever we're building together. For this year, I have a couple of wishes for all of you guys. First of all, I wish you good health, and I wish you guys all of the love that the world has to offer, and I wish you guys a lot of creative power, because I think the world needs it right now. And above everything, I wish for opportunities for everybody and all of us to believe in love again and to show people love. And every day that I get to hang out with you guys or correspond with you guys is one of those days. So thank you guys for that. I love you. Peace out and happy holidays.
Hi again, guys. So now I I was asked what my message to romance class would be for. Actually, I'm not sure. Is it a Christmas message or just generally a message? um, I guess again, I want to thank you. This has been. It's both an eventful and uneventful year. Um, but I'm glad and I'm very grateful that romance class still pushed through with a lot of different things. In fact, I feel like I didn't get to do a lot of work since March, since we were on lockdown. But yeah, most of the work that I've done so far were romance class related. So thank you. That was kind of a life raft for me. It saved me from going nuts. Um, because of the fact that I wasn't going out and working. Theater shows are all on hold indefinitely. Um, yeah, I have some projects that got canceled, but I'm so happy that I still had those romance class events to take part in. So thank you so much to each and every one of you. I feel like whenever there's something happening in romance class, it's not just because Mina wants it to happen, or like only a handful of people want it to happen. It's always because everyone wants it to pull through. And so if I were to thank anyone for those things that I was able to take part in romance class, it's each and every one of you guys. It's so hard to it's so hard to still do the things that we want to happen, the things that we want to do. But I'm so glad that everyone in romance class still pushed for it. Even myself included. I mean, I'm I mean, we've already established this before, that I'm not just that guy who comes in whenever whenever there's a reading. I'm very much a part of this community. Not yet. I mean, maybe it would take this year to convince me that I should actually write na, no? But yeah, what you guys want for the community, I'm probably, count me in. I'm always game. You're pretty much stuck with me. So yeah, 2021's coming up. Mina knows this, that every time we have, at least before the pandemic, every time there's an event, a romance class event, and whenever Mina tells me na, you have any idea how we can, do this, if there's a way to go bigger, or change it up a little bit, I'm always game for that. So now that we've tried this new setup this year, and if we're still bound to do our events this way next year, we'll change it up. We'll go big. Yeah, go big or go home, and we don't wanna go home. I mean, guys, sa events nga, walang tagal-tagal umuwi ng mga tao, di ba? So, nobody's going home. We're gonna go big. And, yeah, I know you're watching this like 2 weeks away from Christmas. Tama ba? Yeah. Yeah, about 2 weeks away from Christmas. So, I hope in your own little ways you're preparing yourself for the season, for Christmas that's coming. And by preparing, I really mean just really finding out ways how you can still enjoy Christmas as if there's no pandemic, but with limitations, yes, with some, if not a lot of people not in the picture during the celebration. But parang ginawa lang natin sa romance class. We can't come together to do our events, but if we want to still be able to spend time with the people that matter on Christmas, there's always a way. So, yeah, we can do this. I really hope, I really hope that we can go back to the way things were, because those were some really good times. But in the meantime, and this was written in the card that Mina sent me, we are here. Might not be the same place at the same time, but we just have to keep reminding ourselves that we're still here. And so long as we are, the things that we want, the things that we need, we will always figure out ways to still make them happen. Because the most important thing to remind ourselves is we want these things and we need these things because they keep us happy. So just always look for what makes you happy, and then it's really up to you how you're gonna get there, how you're gonna get it. So Merry Christmas, everyone. I sound so sad, no? I'm not. It's I don't know. It's just I can't express. It's been really difficult for me to express happiness in a large scale way because I live alone. So nobody's around to accept the kind of energy that I usually have. So medyo ako, anong tawag dito? Medyo nag-compress yung energy ko. But trust me when I say this, I'm happy. There are happier days. I get that. We all get that. But in the moment, you just have to be able to say that you are happy. And right in this moment, I'm telling you, I'm happy. And I hope that you are too. So Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Hopefully, I see you guys next year. We see each other again next year, and crossing our fingers, and whatever happens, romance is alive. And if romance is alive, we're gonna rock it.